Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the RTP Rarely Typical Player podcast. Today we are reviewing Bangkok Story, a stray dog by Shameful Guys development. Shameful Guys development. It is a game, a Steam game at that, and I'll give y'all guys a quick synopsis of this game by Shameful Guys Development. Bangkok Story, a stray dog, a top-down 2D story-driven adventure game inspired by real-life events. Traverse and experience the life of a formerly homeless man through an interview of how he regained his sense of self by telling his past to a stray dog. Set in Bangkok, Thailand, 2017. The game boasts of experience of a struggle of a homeless man's and stray dog's life. Traverse the life of a homeless man through his past in Thailand's rural areas. Show different ways to show affection for the dog. The game tells thought-provoking ways of how to live a proper life. If you are sensitive about animals, friends, or family, I can't guarantee you won't cry. Mature content description. Developers describe the content like this. This game contains reference to topics such as violence, bullying, trauma, depression, suicide, and sexual violence, which some players may find distressing. Viewer discretion is advised. So that's the quick synopsis about the game. Let me make sure everything is good. Gameplay. Okay. So before we start, I'm going to introduce the other members of the RTP. You guys know who I am. I am D7. And my co-host, Psychronic Games. If you would like this, you got anything you want to say before we start, my guy?
I just want to say, glad to be here and ready to go. Let's do this.
All right. And we got the resident German, Simple Gaming Harlequin.
What's up, guys?
All right. So the salutations are out the way. So pretty much what we're going to talk about this game, we're going to explain what we like about it, what we don't like about it, how can the game be improved, and we're going to give, our price rating at the end of, everything. And once the stream is over, once we are finished talking about this, we are going to spin the community wheel for the next game that we're going to play on the podcast. The community wheel is pretty much another word for game request. So we're going to pick a game from the game request forum. All right, so we're going to start with Harlequin. We all pretty much had a week to play this game. At least 5 days to play this game, to get the full experience. So Harlequin, what are your first impressions, good impressions about this game?
Oh yeah, right. We're doing good impressions now. Yeah, the art style, or it's not. Yeah, the art style is pretty damn good. Like, I like the color palette and how everything is drawn. The animations for the sprites are amazing. Everything is very high detail. Like every movement is like not just like 3 frames or something. They have 6 frames and more from what it looks like. So looks wise, this game is really good. The music and atmosphere were fitting too. It's not really standing out much in terms of music, but it was fitting. So yeah, I think that's already it.
So that's all you got to say about the game, my guy.
I mean, you only wanted the good points for now, so that's all I gotta say.
All right. So Psychronic Games, what was your first impressions, good impressions about the game when you had the chance to play it?
Pretty much everything that Harlequin said about the graphics and the way it's presented and stuff. But I also was enjoying the story. Because I'm really into stories. Like as far as like if I'm playing an RPG, like that's what I come to the table for as far as why I'm playing an RPG of any kind. This didn't really have much of a battle system, but I don't think it needed one. It's more like an like a story-based game. I'd be curious to know, if this is somebody in Thailand who does the developer know this person or whatever, because it's supposed to be based on a true story or something. So. I mean, I'd be curious to know more about that. But in any case, I did enjoy the story. I did find some parts of it a little slow, though. So, like, what I mean by that is, like, later you pet the dog and you get, like, energy and you can, like, run faster. But sometimes I felt like I was running, like, I was walking really slow. But I did enjoy the story. It kind of reminded me of the types of games like Life is Strange or something like that. But a 2D simplified version of that kind of game. But I did play the demo all the way through. I did enjoy it. I would like to know more of the story, but I guess it's not out yet, so I'll have to wait to find that out.
Okay.
But I'm curious about the real life story. So like, what was the inspiration for this game? Like, and because that'd be good to know. I don't know.
Okay. So you guys already know that I played the game on the stream and I completed it. The story, I felt like, you can't really judge the story because it's actually based on somebody's life. And, there's no way to like say, hey, this ain't good because I think you need to do this, you need to do that. But pretty much that's the best book you can write, a pretty much biography or autobiography, of yourself. I don't know, is this based on the developer or somebody that they already know? But the game has a great presentation, both, graphically and, the animations and the music sounds good too. It's definitely a new taste, a fresh air, because for RPG Maker MZ game, you don't really see a lot of RPG Maker games made like this. You know what I mean? So I was actually impressed at first with just how everything looked in general. Somebody saying holy echo. Is there an echo? I don't hear an echo.
I don't hear an echo either when I unmute the stream.
Okay. All right, so people's never satisfied. Even the people in the chat, they're not satisfied. They always gonna find something wrong with the stream. So I'm going to change what I can later, but for Psychronic Games. Okay, about to say, because I worked really hard trying to get this stream together, guys, and y'all about to hurt my freaking feelings.
Well, that's weird that there's an echo because I have my headphones on. There shouldn't be a double echo of any. Do I sound okay to you guys on the?
Yep.
We could all agree that this game has a pretty much touching story, a pretty solid story, about a homeless man, trying to survive, where they have to, pretty much steal, lie, cheat their way to, to survive, so the struggle of a homeless man isn't a pleasant one or something anybody want to experience in their lifetime. We can all agree on that. So we're gonna go to the next category, which is the map. What do you guys think about the mapping? And let's start with Psychronic.
Yeah, I liked the mapping. It was basic, but I liked it. It fits the environment. It seems like it's Thailand, as far as I can tell from the writing on the wall, on the buildings and stuff like that. I like the mapping, but yeah, it's kind of like you're playing a story rather than, I wouldn't say it's necessarily interactive like a game. Really, it's pretty linear. It's just telling a story. But as far as like setting the mood and the way it looks, so yeah, I liked the mapping. I thought it was good.
So Bird Bunch could confirm that he's been to Thailand and he agrees that everything looks the way that he remembers when he visited Thailand. He made a comment about being in the hallways, and having trash cans outside of the door. That's accurate. The way the lights hang is accurate. So pretty much everything that the developer has put in this game is accurate compared to his country. So I could say it's dead on. I mean, I've never been to Thailand or whatnot, but getting confirmation from another person, is definitely you could take their word for value. So Simple Gaming, what do you think about the mapping, my guy?
Mapping in this game looks alright, and that's the only purpose of the maps existing in this game, right? Because there's not really a game there, so the dev didn't have to worry about stuff like pathing and directing the player to spaces and putting loot and everything like that. Mm-hmm. The maps are purely aesthetic in this game, and that's okay. I mean, that's the purpose of the maps in this game, and they look good.
Okay. We can all agree on that. So, alright. So the mapping do look good. The tile set looks custom. Everything just look fresh and new. FSM look great. The RTP tile set could look great, but they're starting to become, an eyesore in some games if it's not done right. So I can't really complain about how these tile sets look. They do look new. I never seen these before, and the way the rooms are cramped like this is another validation from Bird Bunch saying these are actually how the Thailand, apartments look like. The layout is almost similar to what they remember. So So yeah, definitely another confirmation from a person that been there. All right, so music, guys. What do you think about the music? Let's go simple gaming.
Oh, I already said my piece about the music though,
Okay,
like right in
okay,
the beginning. It was fitting, but it's not like I have a like an earworm. How we say in Germany is when we have this melody repeating in our head, like the Super Mario theme or whatever.
okay,
So again, of course, it's not that good. Like whose indie game is gonna have like Nintendo levels of music, right? That's probably never gonna happen.
okay,
But the music was fitting for the scenes it was played in. Like
okay.
when you start doing the interview, when the girl talks, you have this happy little jingle music playing, and when the dude talks about his dark, like homeless past, the music stops, giving the talking more emphasis on the negative side. And when the girl talks again, the music picks back up. So yeah, the music was well implemented. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Psychronic Games.
Yeah. The music fit the scene. I wouldn't say that any of the music is music that I'm like, oh man, I gotta go play that track. But when you're, but there are sometimes games where the music is so good that you're like, man, I want that track. But at the same time, it fit the scenes. There wasn't any awkwardness. It made sense. Yeah, music wise.
All right. So, I mean, I like the music. Definitely tracks I've never heard. Not a lot. I didn't hear any RTP music or whatnot. So, definitely, the developer is definitely on the verge of creating a game with his own identity with a RPG maker game. Which is kind of rare now these days because a lot of us aren't composers, and we trying to keep the our wallet as closed as we can. We're not trying to open up our wallet and pay for custom music because I asked not applicable NA how much Harlequin has a track in his game where
2 tracks.
yeah, he has a track. The boss theme track is fire. You know what I mean? I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I want to steal that track so bad and use it for myself. And I was like, hey, bro, how much will you charge for a track like this? He said $200. I said
Yeah,
$200.
and that's even cheap, to be honest. Like I had a guy on Twitter message me who's like a really experienced composer who apparently worked with TV and shit like that too. They be charging 300 or more.
Per track, yeah.
Like insane prices.
Yeah, and I could definitely agree. I could definitely agree with that because, after a while, like once you get deeper in your game and you trying to go that commercial route, oh man, the pockets is starting to get like really heavy. You know what I mean? One thing you're in the hundreds, and next thing you're in the thousands.
Yeah,
Almost
that's what I'm saying, like,
half of 10,000. You know what I mean? Like for a game that may not sell. So you're taking a risk, no matter what you do, to satisfy your potential players and try to give them an experience that they never had before with another game made by RPG maker. So
Well, that's why, as much as possible, I try to learn how to make everything myself as much as I can. Like, obviously, there's people that can do it better than me as far as like what I'm, in my own game, what I'm making in it. But at the same time, how much are you trying to spend? And again, over time, I have gotten better at making stuff personally. So that's actually one of the reasons why I even like doing game development, is because you learn you can hone so many skills at once, because it's like a jack of all trades type of thing. And so I've gotten better at programming, gotten better at making music, gotten better at graphic design, and like all of it by just practicing over time. And that's, I guess, the only way I see to do it on a budget, on a micro budget. But yeah.
Yeah, that's understandable. So, once again, the developer did a great job choosing the tracks and stuff like that. So, all right. So, we can't deny that the game doesn't look good, but that doesn't necessarily makes it a great game. Every game has their light side and their dark side. And every game has something that people don't like about it. It's like pet peeves or something that they just don't understand about the game. So I'm basically saying what we don't like about this game. What about this game the developer should change or need to change? Now, remember, guys, this is a work of nonfiction, meaning this is based on real life events.
That's not quite true, though.
Are you gonna let me finish? Are you gonna let me finish?
Go ahead.
Nah, you go ahead. Because I forgot what I was gonna say, Mr. German. Go ahead and get your thoughts out.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, it doesn't say it's based on a real story. It just says it's inspired by real life events. That could mean anything. It's inspired, like, there's homeless people down there. Of course there's homeless people everywhere. So it's not saying that this is a story of an existing person. It's just inspired by what happens down in that country.
I'd like to know whether it really is based on a specific person or a specific.
It could be. It could be, but usually when it does that, it usually says it's based on events or based on a person or based on something. This only says it's inspired by, which is a difference.
Right. So it might have a little bit of aspects to it that to embellish the story or something.
Yeah. It could be just generally how a homeless person could potentially live his life down in Bangkok. Doesn't mean that anyone actually did, but they.
All right, let me ask y'all a question. Did y'all did the research, the bat search on this game, like visited their website and everything?
Nah, man, I'm not doing that.
All right. So I stand corrected, sir. I stand corrected. So, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, it's hard to make, an action game or a game full of like lies, to make the game. You know how like movies do, they kind of exaggerate, because they're trying to get the attention of the audience and stuff like that. They'll put like extra stuff in the movie that is not true or never happened. So we're going to talk about what we don't like about the game, what we didn't like about the game, and how the developer should improve to get more engagement with the players. So I'm gonna start with Psychronic on this one.
There was a few things about the game that I didn't necessarily it wasn't bad enough for me to stop playing it, but one of those issues was the slow walk speed. Sometimes I felt like I was walking way too slow, and I wanted to dash, and I couldn't until I petted the dog. Then it was more tolerable because the dog gave you energy to run around more versus walking really slow. The other thing that kind of was, I would say, repetitive was like when you get to the part where you're at the school, it's like you're going back and forth from the school to the house to the school to the house. Like, God, it feels like 20 times, and like one thing happens one day, another thing happens another day, and they seems like it could have been a little bit less repetitive, I guess, on that type of way of doing it. For there to maybe be. I don't know. Well, I don't know if this is supposed to just be based off of somebody's true story or whether it can. No, like I don't know if the choices matter need to be done in this game because it's just telling somebody's story. But Yeah, I mean, maybe, and then there was like, with the dog, there was options, but there was only one option, right? So, it's like you get a choice of one on sometimes. That was kind of like, well, why is it even a choice then? If there's only one choice. And then, but also the NPCs, the shadows of the NPCs. I mean, to me that was a little bit different. I mean, it's probably easier to do it that way, and especially for NPCs that don't matter. But I wonder if the vibe would change if the NPCs were what's wrong. Sorry, I thought D7 was saying something. Okay. Okay. Well, in any case, with the NPCs, maybe they could have been like actual NPCs, but I don't know if the shadows are just meant to be like, well, they're not important, so we're not thinking about them. Or it could be that you're going off of this guy's memory and he doesn't remember those, and he doesn't remember what those people looked like, because it's telling his story. I don't know whether it's a bug or a feature, but it was whatever. But yeah, just there just seemed to be a little bit of repetitive backtracking sometimes, but at the same time, I did enjoy the story. But I guess if I had to criticize it or what I didn't like about it, it would probably be the running speed and the backtracking a little too much. But yeah, that would be my main criticism, my main beef with it.
I guess I'm gonna start at where Psychronic left off. The NPCs, I believe, are actually one of the few good things I thought were in this game. Not only does it serve the purpose of letting the player know that these NPCs don't mean anything, they're not important characters, but also like they specifically mention that it feels like people are just not seeing you and running over you, and that's literally what they do. They walk through you, they completely ignore you. So I feel it lends that specific sentence a lot of weight. So for me, it actually really fit the theme of the game. But yeah, the game part of this game was, to me, really lackluster. Like the gameplay, what they put in there as gameplay is not really gameplay, and it didn't need to be there. It doesn't add anything to the story, and it just really feels really tacked on. Like you get these choices, which is most of the time not even a choice. Sometimes you just get one choice, as you already said. Like, why is there even a choice if I cannot choose anything? Makes no sense. Is this gameplay? I don't know. And the walking around part, like, yeah, it's a walking simulator according to Steam tags and the visual novel. And I don't know, is it really? I don't understand the appeal of either. Like in visual novels, okay, I can see it, like when your choices matter and you're living like through a character story or whatever, that makes sense to me. But if it's just a story, just a linear story where player input does not matter whatsoever, why is it a game? You're choosing an interactive medium to tell a linear story where your player has nothing to do with it. Like, why am I even sitting here and holding like my controller or my keyboard? My input doesn't matter. Like, you can, at this point, you could have just made the text auto scroll and just show me the entire game as a cutscene and call it a short movie. Because the developer clearly knows how to animate their stuff. Like, it looks really good. But the gameplay part of it just has no connection to the game. Like all you do is like running around, running up and down, talking to the NPCs, then talking to the other NPCs to get them juice, and go back to the first NPC, give him the juice. You're just running from dialogue to dialogue, and that's not really gameplay for me. Like, why is it there? Just make it a movie at that point. Like, there's nothing stopping you from making it a movie in RPG Maker. Give it some voice acting too, perhaps. Like, just tell your story. That's fine. It doesn't need to be a game. Yeah, it's true. Can't hear you.
Hello. Okay, so what I was saying is, you know, the developer gonna have to really exaggerate on what they can do to like increase the engagement rate with your players, because just telling the story straight out, isn't really that interesting. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could tell y'all my life story, and y'all probably fall asleep because my life isn't as exciting as the next person. you know, because we see homeless people every day. They're either it's a reason why they're homeless. It's a reason why they became homeless. Like, we haven't even gotten there yet. We just know we're a homeless guy. We know our mother isn't around. We know we was bullied in school and stuff like that. So this is definitely a something that we could all relate to, or may know somebody that's going through this. So to make a game out of it, an open world walking simulator, you're going to have to exaggerate some parts. If not, people going to find your game boring. They're not going to find it interesting, and they're going to look at it as a visual novel with really no action, and you just walk here and there. So you got to think about it as you want to go commercial. I'm not even sure this game is going to be commercial or not. It just say episode 1, and that's it. They didn't charge for episode 1. Maybe episode 1 could be free, and episode 2 they may put a price tag on it. I'm not exactly sure. The developer reached out to me. They reached out to me on Gmail and sent me this game. They wanted me to try out the game. Of course, they say, "Hey, seen your streams before. Will you try out my game?" I actually like the game. It's a really good game.
Yeah, I like it too. Yeah.
Yeah, for what it's made. But I did get bored during the stream, and I felt it from the viewers that was getting bored because I didn't have a lot of viewers. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a lot of viewers that day. You know what I'm saying? And people admitted that they watched for a bit. They thought the game was boring, and they left. They left your boy D7 because they couldn't stand to watch the game anymore. Like, real talk. This is real talk. This is what I was told by multiple people. Not just one, not just two, but multiple people. Regardless how good the game is, you gotta put some action in it. You got to put some action in it. You gotta give us some like rising climaxes, you know, like, oh man, give us some mini games. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was about to say. Like, you don't even need to like stretch the story with unbelievable shit or anything. Like, just give us actual gameplay that's not just walking from NPC to NPC. Like, let us clean the wound in a mini game or something like that. Let us let us do shit like aside from walking, right? Like, there's a whole bunch of possible mini games in there. Like the begging part could have had a mini game that's like convincing the people to give you money, like picking the right sentences or whatever. But nah, it's just run around and hit the action button on every NPC until you got enough money. Like, how is that gameplay?
Exactly. Yeah, like we had to talk to random NPCs, random silhouettes, and just talk until somebody gave us some money. That was the game. I mean, I can understand it. Like, I can understand it because that's how real life is. Like, those who drive, they always got a homeless person at the corner. I don't know about other countries, but here in America and where I stay, there's a homeless person on the corner with a sign saying that God bless, anything helps.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's what they got, man. I don't know about Washington. Do y'all have that in Washington, Psychronic?
Yeah. We have that as well. Also, this is, you guys already know this, but some people on the stream might not. I'm also chairman of Homes Now, Not Later. We are a 501c3 nonprofit in Bellingham, Washington, and we manage and operate 2 tiny home villages for people who are homeless, and it's managed by the residents themselves. So, because we have no paid staff or anything like that, so we house about 50 people between our 2 villages. Yeah. So I've met a lot of homeless people, and I meet new ones every day, and everybody's different. Everybody's got a different story, different reasons why they became homeless. A lot of things are the same, but the one thing that I have noticed that is a problem is there's a lot of stereotypes around homelessness, and everybody who might not fit into the category of the stereotypes is usually kind of just lumped together as, oh, they're all drug addicts, oh, they're all mentally ill, but when they're not, right? And so our villages, we try to shatter that narrative of the stereotypes of homelessness, and just because you're homeless doesn't mean you're incapable of running your own housing situation and working with your neighbors, right?
Absolutely. I've actually been homeless at time too. Like, when I was 16, I was homeless for like 3 months. So I more or less also know a little bit about being homeless. But in Germany, we are a social state, right? So I wasn't homeless for too long. I just needed someone to go to the agencies with me and to the government places, because they would always refuse me because I was 16. So that means my dad would have actually needed to take care of me, but he didn't. So yeah, there was this like homeless shelter for like adolescent people, and that's where I went to. And when they took me to these government places, I was sent into like a homeless person shelter thing where you can like live, and then the government pays the rent and stuff like that. On the same day, they brought me into that. Like, once you had a guy with you that knew the system and how it works, like, I was sheltered in there the same day. Like, it was insanely fast. It was ridiculous. Yeah, but 3 months of homelessness, I don't know. It's all right. Like, it could be worse, but yeah, in Germany, it's like you don't need to be homeless. Like, it's kind of a choice at some point. Like, you can be homeless for a while because, you know, life happens and shit happens, but you don't need to stay homeless in Germany. Like, we have systems in place for that shit. We have shelters and everything. Like, we are a social state. If you are like homeless for like a half a year or longer, it's your choice. At that point, it's just your choice.
Yeah, it is a little bit different because homelessness is a big issue in Washington State, as the West Coast in general. But here it's that there are shelters, there are programs, but pretty much everything's full, and then the numbers keep going up every year. They keep adding more, but they add at a slower rate than the rate of homelessness increasing. So literally, people it can take up to if you sign up for housing or anything when you are homeless, and it can actually take it's 6 months minimum, and sometimes it can take up to 3 years to get into any.
Yeah, I can believe that. Like, it varies from location to location, of course, but like generally in Germany, it's less jarring because we have better systems or more systems in place. Like, let's say the USA.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
So yeah, we don't really have that kind of problem. That's why I'm saying, if you're in Germany and you're like homeless for over a year, that's your choice. That's the life you choose at that point. Like, if you just need to get your butt off the street and go to these government places and talk to people. If you don't, well, then you're gonna be homeless. That's just how it is. But yeah, in other states, I can absolutely see that not working, or not working as quick as it does here. Of course, like I'm not trying to blame any homeless people. Jesus Christ, I would never.
Yeah, no, but that is a cultural thing here, though. Is in the United States, a lot of people do get like unfairly blamed just because they're homeless and it's not their choice, and so like the whole get a job thing is a common one. And really, there's just so many different reasons, and it's just, I don't know. I
mean, there's always two sides to the coin, right? Like, on one hand, of course, you can be homeless for any number of reasons, and it can completely be out of your power or choice or anything.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, like, of course, you're getting annoyed by homeless people if you like get someone in your face begging for money like every 2 steps, right? That's annoying.
Yeah, it does.
Of course, at some point you're just gonna be like, fucking homeless people, get a damn job and get out of my face.
Yeah,
that's what it'll end up to, of course.
Yep, that could happen, and unfortunately, that's the way the world is. You know, like it seems like every country has some type of homelessness. But you figure like overseas, like third world countries, like a whole lot worse, especially in South America and, you know, those countries over there. But whatever the developer, if they're talking about themselves or somebody else, we don't know. So maybe, you know, throughout the story, we would get to know exactly who they're talking about, you know. I have a feeling it could be themselves, you know what I'm saying, and they just probably just change the game, or, you know, change the names around, because we all know a lot of people, even the fantasy RPGs, you know, with the magic and the spells, people tend to, you know, write about their life, but in a RPG way, you know what I mean? Like, I met people where they use their game to like battle depression, talk about their depression, talk about their alcoholism and their drug abuses. You know, some people use game creating to escape and to cope, you know, what's going on in their lives. So yeah, I mean, it's really hard to like put a dagger in the chest of this game because how sensitive the topic is. But developer, if you are watching or will be watching, try to add some interactive stuff, mini games, like maybe give the player the dog view one time, how the dog is surviving. That's kind of a twist to the gameplay. So not gonna bash you too much because it is a sensitive game. So all right, we reached the top, to end of this game, to where we think how much the developer should charge for this game if nobody else has anything to say about this game. So before we say how much we would pay for this game, do anybody else got anything to say before we close out?
I think I covered everything.
Okay. What about you, Psychronic?
I'm good to go. I hope that they get this game done. I did enjoy it.
Okay. Yeah, it's not really. I mean, normally we have a lot to say, guys, but it's not really a lot to say on this game, except how beautiful it looks and how engaging it looks. But at the same time, this is based off somebody's life, and we really don't have the room to really judge how somebody lived. You know what I mean? Only thing we could do is just encourage them to just keep it on, but make it a little bit more gameplay friendly. So I'm gonna start first. I don't know how long this game is going to be, but I did say $1.99 per episode. I really think the developer should definitely be rewarded for trying to make their game at least different. But the story was engaging. It was interacting. What happened with the mother and the school situation, and how he met his best friend. What's his name? Dow, something like that. How he met his best friend in school. That was a really good twist in the plot of the story. So, Psychronic, what about you, my guy?
Yeah, I like that part too. I'd probably say how many episodes are there going to be? Do you know?
No clue.
Okay. I'd probably say like $2.99 per episode.
$2.99 per episode. Okay.
Yep.
What about you, resident German?
Free. I want to say
just
free.
Came out and say that. Okay, free.
Reason being, like, to be honest, I don't give a shit if this is like a personal like cope story or whatever. I'm not connected to either the dev or the person this story might be about. I don't care. I'm looking for a game. So I stumble across this page. The art looks interesting, looks nice. A homeless story could be interesting. Why not?
Okay.
Let's give it a shot.
Okay.
So, and what do I get? A fucking book with like walking simulator. That's what I get. I didn't get a game. I didn't get any gameplay. So what am I paying for here? It's a story. That's all right. Like, tell me your story, but I'm not gonna pay for it. Like, I can just look up any visual novel on Steam. Like, there's plenty free visual novels on there already. So I don't know. As I said, for me, this doesn't need to be a game. This could have legit been like a short animated movie. I don't see why you couldn't do it. Like, it works perfectly fine, right? Give it some voice acting, make the text auto scroll, and just have it be one long sequence of cutscene. And then you could just lean back and watch the story unfold instead of having to walk around slowly and talk to shades of NPCs in order to get some money. Like, the gameplay is absolute abysmal. And I was looking for a game, but I didn't get a game. So for me, like, yeah, tell me your story, but make it free. Like, make it a visual novel or make it a movie.
Got you. Maybe they could have been like, did like a time input, versus.
Yeah, they would need to add actual gameplay, like add mini games. Not everything, not every game needs a combat systems and dragons and magic and shit. That's not what we're saying.
Yeah.
Like you can make a good game with just mini games or like a puzzle. Like this alleyway where you're sleeping could have been like crammed and you had to bring all the shit away so you can actually sleep there or whatever. Like there's a myriad of ways you could have done gameplay in a better way than it is right now.
All right, so developer, that's pretty much what we got for you, my guy. We were in communication, and I did send you the link to the podcast. Not sure the time in your world. I'm going to say you're probably 2 a.m. right now, so you probably sleep during the stream. So if you definitely are able to watch it and catch it, this is what we have for you. So I did a poll, guys. And we have 11 votes, and excellent 18% says excellent, 64% says above average, and 10%, or is that 18%, says the game is average. But 0% said it wasn't a poor game. So I mean, people like it, but at the same time, majority of these players probably wouldn't play it because of the lack of action. So that episode is complete. If you like to try the game for yourself, I got the download link in the description. You can download the game at your own convenience and play it at your own convenience and give the developer some feedback.
Developers
the developer is here. Thanks.
Developer in the house. Whoop, whoop,
Thanks for the amazing feedback, guys. I definitely improved the gameplay. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Like the story, you got that down pat. The story is amazing. The graph is amazing. It's just some people may find it a little bit too not entertaining because lack of interaction that they can do.
At the end of the day, you're advertising it as a game, but you have no gameplay. That's pretty much all that's holding the game back is it not being a game.
Yeah, but it's really emotional. I almost cried playing this game. Not even gonna lie, I got emotional because like on real talk, man.
You know what I mean? Like you're a family guy and everything, and you even own a dog. So
like
I can see that.
my mother,
I'm dead inside.
Especially seeing.
I got a little tear almost forming too.
Especially the scene with the mother, man. Because my mother's no longer here, and I miss my mom every day, and it's kind of emotional when you play certain games like this. So it definitely works. In that avenue. It definitely works. But man,
I'm just dead inside. Like my heartbeat wasn't not even going up or anything. Like I was just sitting there, like.
Cause you're the resident German. Nothing gets to you.
I got no feelings, man.
Nothing gets to you. But yeah, I'm definitely would like to see more of the game though. You know what I mean? Like how the story comes out and stuff like that. So, all right, guys, is that freaking time? Y'all cry babies been crying all along because y'all said, can y'all play our game? Can you play our game? So let's go ahead and spin this wheel. Y'all ready? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 games. 13 games, guys. And I tried to put elimination, but they said, nah, one spin. That's it. One spin. So I'm gonna spin it.
We can just wait 20 seconds. Like, just ask the chat what they prefer. And whatever many has the most answers, we can do that. How is that?
I think we got
a couple of seconds and let them answer. Why not?
I think we got to do the spin because I took all this time to do this wheel, so we're going to spin this.
You had to redo it if you do it elimination now.
No, like any name that it lands on, I'll be able to eliminate it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Last man standing.
You can just ask. Oh, are we doing last man standing now?
I would like to. I would like to do last man standing.
Yeah, and I'm saying ask the chat. Last man standing or just single spin. And
all right, chat. Do y'all want last man standing or single spin? Those who care, do you want single spin or last man standing?
I mean, we got time. We're not even an hour in, so I guess we got a couple of seconds.
Last man standing or single spin?
See, Psychronic already answering. We in this too, then I gotta vote too.
Cause I could do last man standing. It don't matter to me.
I just think it takes forever. Like 15 spins, man. That's a long time.
So let's do one spin. What you think?
I mean, I have time. I really don't care. I just think it's like boring for the chat eventually.
Alright, so let's do one spin then.
Spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel. Let's go. Single. Okay. Alright, single spin. Last man standing, single spin. Okay, single spin.
See what we got. What horrible game are we gonna play next?
No!
Fuck's sake, the wheel isn't even spinning on the stream yet. What is it?
Leyline Chronicles 2.
Are you... really? Wait a second. Oh no, I gotta play that.
I told you last man standing. Told you last man standing. You don't listen.
Oh man, now I gotta give this guy feedback too. No, I gotta install an MZ game on my PC. Oh no.
Oh man, last man standing. Leyline Chronicles 2 by DK Studios is the next game that the podcast is going to review. So pretty much Leyline Chronicles 2, it is a commercial game, and it was the last game that I did stream. It is a good game, to be honest, but there were some good and bad things in the game. So I'm good because I don't have to play it. These two has to. I don't.
I'm looking forward to trying it out.
I'm just gonna rewatch the stream. Watch me, man.
Yeah. So y'all jealous. Y'all is jealous.
Did you play all the worlds though?
I played everything.
You played everything? Well, okay.
I finished it after this stream. Like the last world is after this stream. Actually, it's on the same video.
I was only lurking for that game.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch much of it.
So yeah, Leyline Chronicles 2, high choice, get it off the wheel. So the wheel is ready for the next spin. So yeah, guys, Leyline Chronicles 2 is next, and before we close out, I would like to appreciate everybody that showed up and will watch the VOD later on. We had 41 subscribers. We are now able to do community posts, so definitely keep track of the community posts on YouTube, and also share the video and tell people that there are 3 individuals out there that do play RPG Maker games, and we will review your game to the best of our ability and give you the best feedback that money can buy. No need to pay anybody to play your game in a review. If you want to join in on the fun, join in the Discord, which is in the link, and you can leave your game request. And just like the spin you saw, there's a chance for us to play your game. But reviewers like myself, if you want me to stream your game, I will stream your game. But to get the full benefit of all 3 RTP members to actually play your game and be featured on the episode, you got to put that game request in. If not, we don't know that you want us to play your game. So that's very important. So before we head out, do Psychronic or Harlequin has anything to say? Would like to say?
I just want to say that I'm looking forward to the next one. Yeah.
All right. What about you, German dude?
I'm just gonna say, like, advertise the Discord again. Like, not only join there for like posting your game, we got a whole community going. So joining there is a good idea in terms of like getting help for your games, helping people with their games, and like just talking shit too. Like we do everything. Like we have a pretty active community on Discord. So joining there is a good idea regardless of if you want your game played or not.
Exactly. Definitely have other developers who want their games to be tried, who want their games, who needs help, how to, improve their games with optimization, with even map details or action sequence details, whatever. There's a whole bunch of developers on every engine, MV, MZ, Ace, whatever, that are able to give you some type of feedback, some type of advice to better your game. So definitely join for that reason too, and to be part of a good community where we could just laugh and stuff, because sometimes you got to get away and just hang out with the guys and girls. But that's it, guys. This is another episode of RTP, Rarely Typical Players. Once again, Bangkok Story, a stray dog by Shameful Guys Development. So definitely check them out, download the game, and hopefully you like it. So we are out. See you next week with Leyline Chronicles 2. Peace out and have a good one.
See ya.